Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Alright, Errol Spence looks like the fight with Keith Thurman is about to be finalized, which was expected. Perfect opponent for Spence, who was looking pretty heavy these days. A little surprised at the April date announcement. Looks like Heyman is trying his best to delay the potential Gervonta Davis-Ryan Garcia fight. Obviously, there's gamesmanship going on. Keep him on the shelf as long as possible. Maybe schedule in June. Ryan will go into that fight in over a year in activity. But Errol Spence looks like he's finalized his tune-up fight for his debut at 154 pounds. Now, obviously, some people are not happy about that. They see it as no point. I mean, what's the point of making this fight if it's not for the welterweight titles? Obviously, there's some animosity between Spence and Thurman. Spence doesn't really want to fight him, not even giving him the luxury of he's actually denying him a world title shot. But, you know, when Uncle Al says, this is what these guys have to do. They don't really have a choice in this matter. I'm sure Spence doesn't really want to fight Keith Thurman, but Uncle Al says that's what you got to do. But he's getting a reprieve in terms of not having to defend his belts, but this is pretty much a precursor of what's to come. Errol Spence's days are numbered in the welterweight division. He's looking very heavy. He's looking unmotivated. He doesn't look like he's been in the gym too much. So, you know, it was going to happen sooner rather than later, and if that fight with Crawford is ever going to happen, it's going to be at a weight class north of 147 pounds. Now, this is a tune-up fight. Thurman is inactive. Once upon a time, was a good welterweight. This fight was a top-level fight 5 years ago when Thurman was on top, when he was the unified welterweight champion. Now, he's a shell of himself. He's cut his hair. He's getting hurt by junior welterweights, and he's going the distance with tank leftovers. So, obviously, this is why the odds are what they are. The odds makers are giving Thurman practically no chance of winning the fight. View him as a very heavy underdog, and he should be. This will be an interesting fight to bet on, though, in terms of how the fight is going to be played out, what's going to occur. It's very risky, though. Very strong possibility Thurman gets knocked out by a body shot. But I have to give Thurman this. He's shown a lot of toughness in fights, despite being almost KO'd on numerous occasions by body shots. He's been able to weather the storm and even avoid getting knocked down. He's been hurt multiple times, but he's never been dropped, I don't believe. He had a knockdown early in his career, but at the top level, he's been hurt plenty of times, but he's somehow been able to overcome the adversity and pain, and is able to recover and go the distance or even get back on his opponent. Now, if Sean Porter can hurt you with a left hook to the body, most likely Errol Spence is going to hurt Thurman to the body. The question is, can he finish him? Spence is not a great finisher these days. He finally recorded a stoppage against Yordenis Ugas, busted up his eye. That was in terms of an affliction of punishment. He's not a one-punch knockout guy. So if he's going to stop Thurman, it'll be an accumulation of punishment. So early play I like here, and it's going to be risky. I think the odds will be, but you're most likely going to get good value. Maybe not, but maybe. Most likely you'll get plus money by the fight going the distance, or Errol by decision. I think Errol by decision will be a great prop bet. Thurman has shown a lot of toughness, but there is a chance he can get stopped in this fight. I wouldn't recommend taking a chance with Thurman. I don't see him winning the fight. Just not active enough. You know, he's been a part-time fighter. Punch resistance most likely is not going to be at his strongest. Even the him going the distance is a risky play, but we're gonna wait till the odds to come out, and it's gonna be an interesting fight to bet on. I'm sure most people expect Spence to win by KO, but most likely not gonna get good odds. So we'll wait for that decision odds prop bet, and that's the only reason why I'm looking forward to this fight. It'll be a good promotion. Thurman will talk shit. Thurman's he knows how to promote fights. He knows how to talk shit. But I don't think at this stage he's capable of a big time victory. But he is fighting, I would say, the most difficult champion in the currently in the welterweight division. I think if he was to take on a champion now, Spence will be his best bet, his best chance. Crawford would definitely knock him out. There's no doubt about that. I'm not so sure if Spence can do it. There's a possibility he can, but I'm looking forward to those Spence by decision odds. Might be sprinkling some on those. So it is what it is. I'll watch the fight. I know who's going to win. And, you got yourself a non-title fight between two big-name welterweights. Who does this really favor? I would say it favors Spence, but maybe not really. I don't think the weight's really a big advantage either way. Both guys are career-long welterweights who competed in the amateurs at 152 pounds. It will be a good action fight. Thurman will be trying to utilize his movement and counterpunching, but Spence's jab is going to be a problem, and Thurman doesn't have a jab. And also the pressure and body shots is going to be a problem. Expect a good fight between the two, despite the fight being past his sell-by date. And this is just a warm-up fight for Spence as he looks to campaign a new division. There's some big fights at 54 though. I don't see the issue of him fighting Charlo. I don't give a shit. They're the same trainer. Errol Spence hasn't been on the same page with Charlo in terms of fighting each other. Charlo doesn't want it. Spence does. I don't think Spence cares if he ends up fighting Charlo. But there is an issue when it comes to, their stablemates, so that could be an issue. I would love to see a Fundora fight. Fundora Spence will be very interesting. Castano. They're all good fights. But of course, the fight we all want to see, is it going to happen with Crawford? I mean, it should have happened last year. So I'm on record. I don't think the fight ever happens, but never say never. But unless Crawford signs with Heyman, then I don't see the fight happening, because he knows what's going to happen in that fight. Well, Thurman versus Spence, finally. Long awaited, past his sell-by date, over marinated, in the wrong weight class for no titles. And what will be Errol Spence tune-up in his introduction to 154 pounds. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.